Recently, this old photo of Lionel Messi bathing a baby went viral online for a very strange reason. At first glance, the photo looks like any other baby picture, but when you discover who the child grew up to be, things start looking quite weird. This was taken in 2007, and the baby Messi was bathing just so happened to be Lamine Yamal, the promising star who just played against them in the FIFA World Cup finale. Now, people online believe this pic was some sort of passing of the torch ceremony that was completed at the game yesterday when Spain won the championship. While all of this might sound insane at first, what I found about all of this does raise a lot of interesting questions. By the end of this video, you won't look at pro sports the same way again.
I got one question for you. You and Lamine Yamal, you guys took this iconic photo when he was a baby. And for you guys both to be going up against one another in his first World Cup final and potentially, hopefully not, your last, is very prophetic. What does that picture mean to you?
Messi is widely considered to be the greatest footballer of all time. So when a child that he bathed nearly 20 years ago turns into a pro soccer player who plays against him at the World Cup, you can see why people think there's a connection. How many times do you get to see a legend bathe his replacement as a child? Now, while calling Yamal a replacement for Messi might seem like a stretch, this is exactly what the theory is claiming. They are saying this entire thing was scripted by FIFA from the start. They chose Lamine Yamal as a child to be the next soccer superstar and replace Messi. Now, you might think that it's just ridiculous, and I don't blame you, but the more you look into this, the harder it becomes to brush off. The first thing that really made me start questioning everything was the story of how the photo was taken. When I first saw the picture, I thought it was just Messi bathing the baby of a family member or one of his friends. Even when someone told me it was another footballer, I thought it was likely the baby of one of his teammates who grew up to be a player. But that was not the case at all. Apparently, Messi did not even know the family of the baby. They were actually a random family who won a contest hosted by a charity in a local neighborhood in Spain. Because they won, their baby was chosen to be photographed with a pro footballer. Coincidentally, they were paired with Messi, who was a rising star at the time. Now, think about the chances of any of this happening. This was a big contest held in Spain with thousands entering. Yamal's parents just so happened to win, and while that is already crazy enough, the fact that Messi was who they got paired with just makes this unbelievable. They could have gotten any other player, but it just so happened to be the one he's facing against at the World Cup 19 years later. Many people are finding this story hard to believe, especially when you start looking at all the other odd coincidences. Many have pointed out that the number 19 keeps coming up repeatedly in this story. You might have noticed that Messi's jersey has the number 19 on it. What makes this important is that this photo was taken exactly 19 years ago. On top of that, Yamal is currently 19 years old. He also just so happens to be wearing a jersey with the number 19 on it on the Spain team. Also, the game that just happened where Messi faced against Yamal took place yesterday on July 19th. To make all of this even stranger, Messi and Yamal's birthday are exactly 19 days apart. Now, I don't know about you, but that is insanely weird and specific for it just to be a random coincidence. I would understand 19 coming up once or twice, but I don't know about all these instances. It is really hard to see this as just random parallels. Now, the number 19 is not the only thing that is suspicious about all of this. The stats between the two players are also identical. Messi in 2006 and Yamal in 2026 scored their very first World Cup goals at 18 years old while wearing the number 19 jersey. Unbelievably, both players scored that debut tournament goal using their right leg and celebrated by pointing directly to the sky. Now you're starting to see why people feel this entire thing was scripted. People online claim that this moment at the World Cup was designed long ago, and everything was set up to play out exactly as it did. They believe the moment Messi bathed Yamal as a child, he was chosen to take his place. They see this bathing of the child as a symbolic baptism to represent the passing of the torch. When you think about it, it makes sense why they would have these footballers bathing random babies in the first place. It all seems so weird. Now the question is, does Yamal's team beating Messi's team mean the transfer has been completed? Well, I guess only time will tell. But I will say that when I was looking into this, I instantly thought about the movie Him. The story in him seems to be identical to what this theory claims, but instead of soccer, it is football. In him, a rising football player named Cameron gets invited to train with the greatest player in the league, who is getting ready to retire. What ends up happening is a crazy story of industry shadow groups and a secret passing of the torch ceremony that ends tragically. It is revealed in the movie that the fictional league is controlled by a group of billionaires who own the teams. They have a secret tradition where there could only be one GOAT at a time. This GOAT title is passed down through the blood of the players. Those in this group choose the next superstar as a child and guide them to ensure they eventually take their place. In the movie, Cameron is picked to replace Isaiah when he was a child. When he became 20 years old, they invited him to train with Isaiah so he could unknowingly participate in this strange passing of the torch ceremony. Cameron is forced to take Isaiah's place literally, and when he does, the group offers him the contract to be the new GOAT. This movie was wild, and I actually made a full breakdown on it. If you're interested, check this video out next. Now, I am not saying this is what's happening with Messi and Yamal, but I cannot blame people for thinking it is. In a way, you can see Messi representing Isaiah and Yamal representing Cameron. With the World Cup being that passing of the torch moment, you can easily understand why the internet feels like the evidence points to that. While him is just a movie, this theory does seem to mirror what the film is suggesting. In fact, just in my last video about the classic Keanu Reeves movie The Devil's Advocate, I brought up what a former pro soccer player said about his time in the sport. According to him, he felt that he experienced something similar to what happened in him during his career. He tells a story about stars being selected in advance and how, to make it to a certain level, certain dark things are required. He made some really wild claims about why his career never made it to the next level. Take a listen to what he had to say.
Former professional soccer player Khalil Lambin, you have an absolutely wild story, including the offer to sell your soul for success. Tell us about it.
Till the day I reached the UK. And in the UK, I was offered by a journalist who in the beginning, I was not aware that he was part of this. So he basically said, let's have a interview about you. You've been in Thailand, you've been in Qatar, you've been all over the place as a young player. So the fans want to know more about you. So obviously I was naive and I said yes. And a couple of weeks later, I got some time. We went to a coffee place. And as I arrived, brother, he looked me straight in the eyes and he told me that I'm not a journalist. Like, if you are an agent, I already got a football agent. If you are from another team, I don't want to move from my actual team. I'm fine where I am. But then he said, no, we rule this world. And if you want to be part of the elite in your sport, you have to join the elite. So I was like, whew, bro, that was like tough because for me, my hard work will be what will help me to step up. But bro, all my dream came down. I was like, in front of him, he's looking in my eyes and he's telling me that. So obviously my first reaction was fear. But bear in mind, I was not Christian. I was not working with Christ and I was still Muslim. And he's offering me this. If you ask me today what kept me, is my beloved mother, who always told me, don't you ever sell your soul. And while this man is speaking to me, I could hear the voice of my mom in my ears. But then I asked him this question, what do I have to do to be part of the elite? He said, there is nothing physical. I will give you an address. You come at such and such time, and we will initiate you. I was like, whew. And as the voice of my mom was a seed in my heart, I was like, I can't do that. And I could see his energy, his aura was getting like really, no, that's going to be possible. And I was like, no, I can't. And if you ask me today, I know that Jesus saved me from that. And as I'm reading the Bible says that what would a man give in exchange for his soul? And I was like, that's exactly what happened to me a couple of years ago. But now that I'm in ministry, supporting sports people into the world of football, I'm seeing footballers after one another coming to me and say, bro, actually, your testimony touched me because I've joined them. Are you sure Jesus can save me? I say, what did you do for you to join? They asked me to offer my son. They asked me to go into some intimate relationship with my own mother. They've asked me to sacrifice such person in a car crash. You see, in the physical realm, it will be like a car crash, a cancer, something, but somebody has offered them because they have the same blood. And if you look back in the Old Testament, you can see. You see, so as I am seeing this footballer telling me, I say, God, you've actually saved me from something so dark.
Now, while he does not provide any evidence for his claims, Many view his past as a pro soccer player as enough of a reason to at least hear him out. There is one thing everyone can agree with. All of this is odd. We are being told that the greatest footballer of all time just so happened to take a photo bathing a child who goes on to face him and beat him in the World Cup. That does sound like a script written for a Hollywood movie. You cannot make this stuff up. All the imagery with Messi and Yamal seems too perfect, to the point where it's hard not to ask questions. One thing is for sure, Messi has been chosen to be the face of the league, and he is on his way out. They gave him the GOAT label, and he carried the sport for years. Now, Yamal is starting to embark on a very similar path, with many believing his win yesterday will solidify his place as the new GOAT. But what do you think? Do you believe that Yamal was chosen to take Messi's place as a child? Or is all of this just a wildly overthought coincidence? To me, it is definitely strange, and I will not put anything past anyone. We know that things are usually never what they seem. What is crazy is that there seems to be a lot of sports movies with this storyline. Recently, I covered the Disney Channel movie HE Double Hockey Sticks. It was literally a kids movie about a hockey player who makes a deal with the head of the underworld to win the Stanley Cup. That movie, again, seems to mirror this theory about champions being selected and not earned. If you want to know what this movie tells us about pro sports, watch this video right now. And if you want to further support the channel, consider becoming a Patreon member. When you join, you support the channel and get over 65 exclusive videos. Another way to support the channel is by subscribing and hyping this video. Your hype literally tells the algorithm that more people need to see this. Well, that's it for this video. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.